Welcome back everybody. Today we're going to talk about something that all of us runners experience at some point, and that is losing our mojo. Just not having that enthusiasm for running anymore. We kind of want to get out the door, but we don't want to get out of the door, and it's just a really difficult situation. So today's video is going to bring you 10 top tips for getting your mojo back, getting out the door and falling in love with running again. And at the end of the video, I'm feeling really generous. I think I'm going to give you actually 11. Yeah, I'm going to give you 11. So stay tuned, enjoy the video, and let's get you back running. Tip number one. Tip number one is one that I think a lot of us probably have experienced before, but that is the benefit of running with other people. So my first tip is, if you're just not feeling it, message someone you know who you've run with before, get down to your club, join a club, and whatever way you do it, just get out and run with some other people, because there's a couple of reasons for that. Being able to run and chat takes your mind off running, so there's a bit of a distraction there. But also, if you arrange to meet someone or meet a group of friends for a run, you kind of got to be there. So, you know, when it comes to that point where you're about to walk out the door and there's always a reason why you think, oh, maybe not today. Well, if you've arranged it with friends, you've got to be there. You're more likely to get out the door, and there's pretty much no doubt that you'll be really glad you did. So tip number one, run with a friend, run with a group, or get back to your club or join a club and run with other people. So next one, tip number two, coming right up. Tip number two, run somewhere new. Now, it's a good example. Today I'm running along a really well-trodden route for me, and I know exactly where this route goes. There's a corner down there. I know exactly what's around that corner. I know what hills are coming up. I know when I get to a certain point how far I've got to go back. All those sorts of things. It's a beautiful route. I mean, I can't complain, but there's something about running somewhere new. It takes your mind off running, because you've got to kind of work out where you're going and where you are. And to the senses, you've not seen the scenery that you're looking at. So again, it's just a really nice way of changing up your running and just putting in something a bit different to kind of help with that enthusiasm and love for running. And also, you'll find somewhere new to run, so you can add it to your collection of routes. It's a really good one, this one. I've used it loads, and also even when I'm kind of enjoying my running, I tend to enjoy it even more when I go somewhere new. It's just fantastic. So that's tip number two. We're on to three. Tip number three. So this tip, actually, I was reminded of by a friend of mine, Corin from Run Fit Run Fast, who you will probably know from other videos I've done. And the tip here is supporting other runners at a race. And honestly, when Cos came back, he was just the most enthusiastic, kind of reared up and ready to go runner. And I think it just shows that if you give others support at a race, it just injects enthusiasm into your own running. And apart from anything else, it gives you the buzz of seeing other people achieve. It gives you the buzz of the race atmosphere. And quite often it can just be really contagious and make you want to get out and run. So tip number three is find a local race or a race that your friends are doing and just go and cheer them on and support. Tip number three right there. Let's move on to number four. Tip number four. Really similar to the previous one actually, but this is about volunteering at Park Run. Now, we've all, if you've been to Park Run before, we've all received the emails each week from our local Park Run saying, we need you. And I think this is a great opportunity. If you're not running, or you're not got that kind of mojo at the moment, you've got the opportunity to get down and lend a hand. But it can be selfish as well. So by being around other park runners who tend to be a pretty enthusiastic bunch, it can really, again, inject some enthusiasm into your own running. And there's loads of roles you can do. And one of the things I love is that every event that I've volunteered at for Park Run, which is over 60 now, the thanks and appreciation you get is just phenomenal. And I don't know, there's something about that that makes you want to run more. So this tip is all about finding your local park run, replying to that email and saying, I'll help. Choose a role, barcode scanning, timing, marshalling, photographer, whatever it might be. And I guarantee that it will make you want to get out the door and run yourself. We're on to number 5, tip 5. Tip 5, okay, so you've got yourself out the door and you're running. What can you do to make it just a little bit more, I don't know, fun? Fun is the word. So I think one of my great ones here is have some time without the watch. One of the things that can kind of set us back straight away, we've got ourselves out the door, we've kind of got the impetus to get out. However, when you go out, you then look at your watch and you look at the pace and you feel the effort and you just feel really lousy. So I love this tip because it takes off that pressure, it takes away the comparisons that you automatically make as a runner. So take the watch off and go for a few runs without your watch. The only side to this is obviously a lot of us absolutely love stats, like to keep track of our runs. Love it or hate it, Strava's a big part of running nowadays and you won't get your Strava. So tip for this is just put the watch on, and on most watches, I know definitely Garmin do, Apple watches, Suntoast, stuff like that, you can just scroll down after you've pressed start on your watch, scroll down and just have the clock on your watch. And that means that you can't see the pace, can't see your heart rate, you're not going to make any comparisons during the run, and at least you're going to enjoy the run, and you can still upload it to Strava and you can still enjoy having those stats if you choose to look at them. But again, I would, even if you did that, I potentially wouldn't look at them for a few weeks. Just save yourself the anguish and just enjoy running for what it is. Enjoy it for being out, especially if it's in the summer like we are now in this beautiful weather. Get out and enjoy the run. Go naked, that's what we call it, and take that watch off when you're next running. We're on to tip number 6. Okay, so this one, following a little bit on from the last one, is we're going to put the watch back on this time and have some fun with our running. Now, I'm not talking necessarily about sessions as such, but you can have some real fun with pacing, and you can use that to just have fun with running. Now, one of the things I like to do, I'm going to go through a couple of the things I've used. First one is I go out the door, I just run, I don't think about it at all, maybe some music on, and then what I do is I challenge myself to say, okay, whatever I do pace wise for the first mile, I have to then try and get as close to that for every other mile after that. And that could be quite good fun. Similar to that, you can set yourself a pace, make it realistic, set yourself a pace and say, right, I'm going to try and stick as close to this for the whole run. And this might only be, I don't know, a few miles. Do it in kilometers, you get more kilometers obviously in a run, and just practice your pacing. It's actually good training to be able to pace anyway. Another one is progression runs. Now, we've probably done these, if you train hard, you've probably done a progression run before, but this one is about taking a really slow first mile, and you might walk this, it's fine, and then aim to increase your pace every mile or every kilometre after that. Now, be careful if you're coming back, obviously, from a physio's point of view. I don't want you getting injured and overdoing it. So, make sure that first mile is really slow, and you can practice your pacing in terms of making those gaps really, really small. So, you could see if you could go out and run the first mile in a certain pace, say it's, I don't know, 8-minute miling, and then say, right, can I do the second mile in 7:55 a minute miling. You know, that's really hard to do, but it's a great way of practicing your pacing as well. It's really good fun. Give it a go. Let me know what you think of that one. All right, moving on to tip 7. Tip number 7. This is just a great one. We've mentioned this event earlier on in the tips, and that is park run. Simple one. Go and do park run. It's free. There's absolutely no kind of pressure at all. And as I say, go and run park run. You can play with park run. I love it because it doesn't matter what happens. It's 5k, you've not paid any money. Chances are you've probably not traveled that far. So whatever happens, doesn't matter. You can go and run, start at the back, start mid-pack, run with someone who you haven't seen for ages, doesn't matter what pace they are. Or go and blast it out, who cares? Just go and have fun. Park run, oh, do you know, I can't say how much I love park run. I think it's just ace. So use it to get your mojo back and enjoy running again. So that's tip 7. Let's move on to tip number 8. We're on to tip 8, and that is signing up for a race. So again, it's just such a good motivator. Finding a race that's maybe 12 to 16 weeks away, giving yourself time to build up to it, think about what you want to achieve from it. But signing on the dotted line, paying your money, is a really, really good motivator to get yourself out the door and training. You know, you've committed to something, and it's also something to look forward to as well. Be careful, you know, if you haven't run for ages, I wouldn't go necessarily signing up for a marathon in 12 weeks, but think small. Think, you know, if you've been running lots before, think about maybe signing up for a 10k, 10 miles, maybe even a half marathon in 16 weeks time, and plan your training, build up, do some of the other tips that we've already said before to get yourself to that start line and fall in love with running again. So that's tip number 8, is sign up for a race. Keep it sensible, but find a race and go and enjoy it. Right, we're on the home straight now. We're on to tip number 9. So you signed up for a race. Tip number 8. Really, really good way of making sure that you get to that race well, or in good shape, but also another way of motivating your running is signing up for a coaching plan. Now, coaching plans. There's some good ones, there's some fantastic ones. There are also, it's really busy this morning, there are also some really dodgy ones. Now, the things to look out for in a coaching plan. I've got absolutely nothing against coaching plans online and from a distance. I think they can work brilliantly. However, what you need to make sure is that you're going to be speaking to the coach, that they're going to take, you know, some really good information from you, get to understand you, your running, current and your history, a bit about your health. And they want to be, you want a coach who's a bit nosy, all right? Because writing a plan for someone isn't an easy task. It takes a lot of time, and it's something that you need a lot of information from the runner about. So that's how I would pick a coaching plan. Now, they're not necessarily cheap either, because again, like I said, a decent one, a good coaching plan will take a lot of time from the coach. But they are worth it if you think it might work for you, and if you've got that money to spend. So have a look, find one that you like the look of, find a coach, have a chat to them. You should be able to chat to them beforehand, and find one that you kind of get on well with as well. That's quite important. That coach-athlete relationship is absolutely fundamental and vital. And yeah, go and sign up to a coaching plan. Look, you know, if you link it to the race you've just signed up for, but it can really, really help enjoy. Look at this, he's trapping on nicely. So you sign up for the race, sign up for that coaching plan. Obviously, I do some work with Run Fit, Run Fast, and they are a really good example of what a coaching outfit should look like. But there's loads out there. Just do your research. There's tip 9. What is tip 10 going to be? Let's find out. Okay, I'm not sure why I've done this, but we're on tip 10 and I've chosen to do this going up a hill. When will I learn? Anyway, so I'm going to need the motivation more than ever, but tip 10 is, I love this one, tip 10 is new kit. Get yourself some new kit, a brand new pair of trainers. Oh, the smell of a pair of brand new trainers, incredible and motivating. Now, obviously it doesn't have to be a pair of 280 quid trainers. It can just be a pair of trainers in the sale. So, we'll stop running. It could be anything, you know, pop down to your local shop, see what they've got on offer, have a look online, see what's on offer. Doesn't even have to be a pair of shoes. If it's the winter, it might just be a 5 quid buff. It doesn't matter, but I don't know, there's something about having some new kit to wear. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just super materialistic, but I just love having new kit, and wearing it just makes me want to go out the door. And honestly, I tell you, if I've got a pair of brand new trainers that I really like the look of, then I want to run in them. So I think it's a good tip. Obviously it's not for everyone, and unfortunately at the moment, you know, may not be able to afford it, but see if you can find something in your budget. Get yourself something nice and fancy, get yourself something you want to wear, and get out and wear it. Oh, so a minute, yeah, we have got another tip 11 coming right up. So yeah, I'm doing it, I'm bringing you 11 tips. So tip 11, this has come about from what I see quite regularly. One of the reasons why people stop running, and also their running gets them down a bit, and it's injury. You know, it's okay, I suppose this is quite relevant in terms of from my job role, but if you are injured and you're struggling to get back and you're just not sure what to do, just go and seek some advice. But go and speak to someone who knows what they're talking about, who knows about running. Go and see a qualified physiotherapist, again, someone who has experience in running. There's loads of them around the country. Another tip as well is, obviously my website's got some running advice on there. Also, I really recommend a chap called Tom Goom, that's G-O-O-M, and he's the running physio. He's got a wonderful website. It's got just a plethora of information on there as well, but nothing beats going to see a qualified physiotherapist. And do be picky about who you go and see. Check out their credentials. Are they a qualified physio? Do they know about running? And are they going to be able to help you? Again, you should be able to speak to them on the phone before you necessarily go and see them as well. It's a really important part of physio is kind of trusting in the rapport that you build with a clinician. So if you're struggling with injury, don't ignore it. It's stopping you from running, it's stopping you doing the things you love doing. So go and see someone about it. Don't just ask another runner what did they do about it, because it's not going to be the same for you half the time. Go and see someone who knows what they're talking about. So tip 11 right there is just to get you back out injury free, pain free, and enjoying your running again, because injuries are really just a pain in the backside. Okay, there we have it. We have our top 10 tips for getting your running mojo back, plus one as an extra bonus. And I really hope that's been of some help, even if it's just one or two of those tips that are going to allow you to get out the door and fall in love with running again. Now, if you know someone else who you know is struggling to find and fall in love with running again, who's really lost their mojo, please send this across to them. Now, our message to those are, we're all behind you. Everyone in the running community wants you to run again. So do kind of, I don't know, use the running community. Some of the tips there are all about having other runners around you and just kind of absorbing their enthusiasm. And I think that's what's great about the running community. So as I say, if it's just one or two or three or all 11 tips that are going to help you, I really hope we can be some use in getting you out the door. If there's other tips, have you got something else that you've used that's enabled you to get back into running? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know also in the comments below if any of these tips have been useful. We've all been there. It is a horrible position to be in, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You will get back running. You will fall in love with running. You've just got to find what you want to do with your running at that particular time. And if it's not running for a few weeks, that's okay, absolutely fine. So As always, please hit that subscribe, like the video if it's been of some use, and share it far and wide, and let's get some really good advice and motivational stuff out there to everyone in the running community. Enjoy your running, everyone, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Have a wonderful run, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care all.